welcome again to another how-to video on Jolo Kazoo. Today we're going to teach you how to change the cabin air filter of a 2004 Honda Odyssey. These instructions would be good for a Honda Odyssey between the years of 2000 and 2004. Here's what you'll need in order to go ahead and complete this filter change. You'll need a medium-sized Phillips screwdriver, 8mm socket wrench, a replacement filter for your vehicle, which you can get at the local auto parts store. It's around $20. Some other helpful tools would also be a flashlight to help you see what you're doing, and a vacuum cleaner to clean out the filter chamber. Alright, so the air filter for a 2004 Honda Odyssey is located behind the glove box. So we're going to need to remove the glove box today in order to change that air filter out. The first step that we're going to do is to remove some pegs that are inside the glove box, and I'm going to show you a close-up shot of that. I've got my light shining on the tab. So there's two tabs inside the box. We're going to go ahead and remove both of those, which will enable the glove box to go ahead and swing down fully. We're going to need to completely remove the glove box. Okay, so we're going to remove this peg right here. That's the first thing that we're going to do, and I'll show you the other side of it here on the outside one. So the other side of this peg, that we're looking at here, is going to look like this. Okay, so that is the outside of the peg. So what we're going to do is push these two tabs together so that this comes out, or just push on it with enough pressure that it's going to come out. So I'm just going to go ahead and push on it with enough pressure that tab comes out like that. Then you can see the roller back in here where my finger is. You need to move the box forward so that it takes the pressure off the roller, and then you can go ahead and pull the roller out, and there's the hole, and that's the part that you're removing. We're going to remove the other side over here and move it forward, and then go ahead and get the roller out. Okay, so they're both resting comfortably in there now. And then we're going to go ahead and shut the glove box again for the next step. The next thing that we're going to do is remove this side panel, and to do that we're just going to pry it out. And again, you can use a screwdriver if you need to. I've already loosened it up for the purposes of this video, so I can just go ahead and pull it out. And we remove that. Get that panel out of the way, and that's going to enable us to get to a screw that's back in here more easily. Now we're underneath the glove box, and you can see the screw right there that we're going to need to remove, and they're holding the hinge of the glove box up there. So one over here, and then one over here on this side. So we're going to remove both of those. So what you're going to do is remove those screws that I just showed you, and you can crawl underneath there if you want, but I find it easier to just go ahead and fill the screw and then get my screwdriver in there and take the screw out. There's one. Go to the other side and then go ahead and take it out. Okay, so that is out. After you've removed the screws, you can go ahead and unlatch the glove box, and it'll drop out. So completely remove your glove box. If your filter's never been changed before, there's a plastic section from here to here that you're going to need to cut out. This one has the filter's already been changed, so conveniently for me, the plastic has already been cut out. In order to cut that out, you can use snips. You can use tin snips to cut it out, or a Dremel, or any cutting tool that will that will work, but a Dremel or some snips are usually your best choice to do that, and then you can get to the screws. After you've removed the glove box, you're going to see this crossbar here, and this is the crossbar that we're going to need to go ahead and get out of the way in order to get to the filter. This over here is the filter housing. So this houses the filter. This panel right here is removable, and we'll take that off, and that's where we're going to go ahead and replace the cabin filter. But over here, so along this bar on the right side of it, there is this little bolt that you're going to need to remove with a 8mm ratchet or socket wrench. Just go ahead and loosen it up, and then you should be able to go ahead and take that out of there. The next step is going to be to remove the screw that's next to the bolt right here. It's a Phillips head screw, so we'll use our Phillips screwdriver to go ahead and remove that. And then the bar should be loose. And so how we're going to get past the bars, we're going to actually pull it down out of the way, and you might have to bend it a little bit. There's a screw on this side that you can loosen over here if you need to, and I've already loosened that, so you can loosen it so that the bar moves, but you might have to bend the bar just a little bit to get that door completely off, and that's okay because it'll bend back. Now that we've got the bar bent down, we're going to go ahead and remove this door to the that houses the filter. There is your filter right in there. I'm going to go ahead and take it out. Slides out just like that. And then you can see this filter is definitely due for changing. It's definitely got some dirt on it on both sides. So one of the things that you want to make sure of on the filter is which way the airflow goes. So you can see when I pulled it out that the arrow is pointing towards the driver's side of the car. And so when we put the replacement filter in, we want to make sure that we have our airflow arrow pointing towards the driver's side, so we make sure that the airflow is going the right way. And then down in here, you can see it's really disgusting in here. And we're going to take a vacuum cleaner and vacuum this out before we go on to, before we put the new filter in. So you're going to want to have a vacuum handy with you to do this when you change yours. Okay, so before I install it, I just wanted you to see the contrast between the old filter, the dirty filter, and the new filter that we're putting in there. So it's definitely time for a change. You can consult your user's manual for the proper time to change your filter. We're ready to install the new filter. We vacuumed this chamber out. I used my home vac to go ahead and clean this out, but if you have a shop vac, I'm sure that would be even more effective. Okay, so we're ready to put the new filter in. So remember our tip about the arrow, make sure that the airflow is going in the right direction. And on this particular filter, you can see the arrows up here. So here we go. We want those arrows, the airflow going towards the driver's side, because that's how the original one was in there. So slide that in. That's about it for changing it. Then we're just going to basically do the reverse to put everything back together. So we're going to put the cover back on. There goes the cover. Now we're going to need to bend the bar back into place. So the bar sits between the plastic here and the metal bracket back there. So you just slide these two back in between each other. There they go. All lined up. So now we go to the little bolt. Okay, so grab your socket wrench and tighten that socket back up. There it is. Get that in there snug. Then go ahead and get your screw, your Phillips head screw. And we're going to put that back in. And it goes right next to that bolt. So we tighten that in. Then we go ahead and get the glove box again. And it's easiest to put this glove box back in with the top part latched. So I'm just going to go ahead and latch the top part on there. And then kind of the reverse of what we did before. Make sure your hinges are in place down here. All right, so here's the underside that we're going to put the screw back into. You can see the hinge goes over that. And then we're going to just kind of feel our way up into there. And get that screw started. And then tighten it in there with your screwdriver. Nice and firm. You want that to hold your glove box on. So you just tighten it like that. Okay, so on the other side you want to do the same thing. Just go ahead and fill for the hole. Okay, so there's the spot that it's going to go into. We're just going to get this screw to go back in there. It's in there now, so now I'm just going to go ahead and get my screwdriver. Okay, so that's tight. And then the next thing that we're going to do is put our two pegs back in that we took out to begin with. So we open the glove box. The pegs are inside here conveniently. We're going to go ahead and put the little roller back through, but we need to make sure that it's past this right here, this stop. So go ahead and move your glove box, close your glove box enough that when you put your roller through, it's going to be past that stop. And then push it in and snap it in place. Really easy that way. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just make sure it's past the stop. And then there you go. So that's back together. Glove box works again. And then the very last thing is to go ahead and put this little panel back on. And it just snaps back into place. You might have to kind of shimmy it around a little bit to find the right fit for it. But you should be able to go ahead and maneuver it back in place there. And there is a clip down on the bottom. Alright, so that's how you change the filter for a 2004 Honda Odyssey for the cabin filter. Which is a good thing to change. Like I said, I believe that the owner's manual says every 30,000 miles, and one of the things that it does is filter out allergens. So if you're one of those people that has allergies, keeping that changed on a regular basis will help improve the air quality inside the cabin of your car. Alright, thanks for joining us.